Hello to another empowering session on the Growth Mindset Collective today, here with myself and Nikki Hall. Welcome, Nikki. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am good, thank you. And today we're diving right into something deeply transformative, which is raising your vibration, the secret to alignment and effective creation. So I'm really excited for this one, Nikki. How about yourself?
This is a subject I was looking at it before we got on, and I thought this could be a subject for days. Like so many programs, like we can do like a 5-part program on this.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, but today we're giving you a sneak peek about give or take 10, 15, 20 minutes. So everything you attract, experience, and create begins with your energy. So when your vibration is high, you become magnetic to clarity, abundance, and aligned opportunities. But what about when it's low? Clouded by fear, doubt, or resistance, creation becomes to go down. Right, Nikki? So what do you have for
Yeah.
us? I always wait to see what you have for us.
Well, you ask a mindset coach, hey, can you tell me about something that you teach? It's like, yes. You want me to only talk for 20 minutes? First, like setting the tone is really important as far as vibration is concerned. And the way to do that is to connect emotionally, create context for yourself, and understand vibration. And your emotion is frequency, which is vibration. And that's the energetic tone you're broadcasting, whether you like it or not. That's a fact. One thing that I'm going to tell you, I'm going to break it down because I've got a couple of points here and then we'll dwell somewhere. Ava, let me know if there's somewhere where you want to dwell.
All right.
The first part is energy creates reality. Another part of awareness or applying your vibration to be effective is awareness is alignment. Another thing is emotion is frequency. All emotion. There's no okay, but just maybe if, nothing like that. Another part is belief sets the tone. Your belief, your passion, where you sit in that yes of thinking, it sets the tone. The power of perception, that's the mental framing as an energetic practice. That is very important. And then you have practical ways to raise your vibration and sustaining the vibe and creating results. So, is there anyone in here that you wanted to talk about these little sections, Ava?
Honestly, I think they're all are very important. But like we said, we could sit here all day and talk about them more in depth, but we only have a fragment of time.
Yes.
One of them for me was usually the people you surround yourself with. They either uplift you and sometimes, well, you can just override that. And sometimes it's not easy when you are surrounded people who are negative for the most part, and you kind of stuck with them. So
Yes.
that's the one I struggled with quite a bit for a long time. So I believe that environment does matter. The people you talk to, the content you consume, and the habits you repeat either drain you or raise your vibration with the people you align yourself. Usually they say, what is it, the 5 people that you hang out with the most? It's the average of what you become. And I think that's
Yes.
really, it is true.
I've never liked that because, I don't like the reflection of the truth there because of course you hang around with your siblings or something. You have a neighbor who's a friend, you have a coworker who's an associate, and You really have to become aware. Like awareness is key to this kind of thing. Um, and power of perspective is a real tool here. So that really determines your vibration. Like those five people, they really do determine your vibration and how you see and shape things and how you feel about it. Whether you like it or not, because you'll be with your friend, your associate, your neighbor, and they'll say something and you'll passively nod or be in agreement. And guess what? You're at that frequency.
Exactly. What about you, Nikki? Which one you like to talk about more?
Yeah, well, I love this part. I love this topic with vibration, um, because I really believe that fundamentally, if we're going to get down to the brass tacks of it, uh, energy really is what creates your reality. Energy and your knowledge or your acceptance of knowledge and belief. Um, like everything in the universe vibrates, including thought and emotion. And like attracts like. You can't tune into a frequency that you're not. What you feel consistently becomes your point of attraction. So if you're saying, and if you're trying to do the discipline, I'm keeping the five people in mind that Ava said, um, you're trying to tune in somewhere. Let's say, let's use a radio station as an example. You're trying to tune in to 97.3 FM broadcasting. But because you're in the group and because you're in that frequency, because your emotional vibration and your match is 89.1 in the frequency on the FM station, you're never going to get to that other channel that you want to get to. With these five people, you tuned into 89.1 on the FM radio dial or whatever you want to call it. Well, you're telling yourself, I'm on 97.3, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. No, it's not. You're at 98.1. And it's very important that we realize that awareness is alignment. Like you can't change what you feel or what you name. You have to make a judgment. You have to be aware. We talked about the five levels of awareness. So you have to be mindful and you have to be self-observing. You have to have self-observation. Like the common low vibe states are worry, guilt, resentment, doubt, passiveness, certain things in the media, a lot of things when you cross somebody's path, even in the mall or somewhere, their vibration is probably on another dial, on another station, another FM station than you are disciplining yourself. So the practice of self-awareness and the ability to discipline yourself to pause maybe several times during the day and ask, oh, where am I vibrating? Like, what am I doing here? Really helps get you to results. So what you want to do is teach yourself to notice, not judge. Judgment is another negative thing. It's another frequency. It's another place you want to be. So notice, don't judge, and get back in alignment with your own vibration so that what you're hoping to acquire in your life, what you're hoping to achieve, has a fair chance.
Exactly. One thing I want to add when you were talking about, being somewhere, as they say, when you enter the room and there's people in there, you can right away sense that energy. Or if there's one person in particular, you can definitely tell they're vibrating on a completely level than you are. You're still in awareness of it, but you can really sense it. It is so like it just beams out, right? I mean, a good vibration just as much as a low vibration. You can right away feel like you're getting dragged down, right? And I've experienced both. That's why I know But I hear this a lot too. Like when you walk into the room, you just know you're like walking in or running out.
Yes, yes. Well, you know what's funny? Well, long time ago, when Tony Robbins was doing his first teachings and stuff, one of the things he did was we're in the room and we're like we're totally doing whatever he says, right? And he says, "Okay, you're at a party." He describes the room. He does all this stuff, and he says, "Look at all the things that are green." And so we become aware of all these things. And then he says, "Now tell me what was blue." It's like, oh.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't do it. You have to, we're very single-minded. Like you can't say, yeah, I'm in the discipline of this vibe and be in agreement over here. You're totally in conflict then.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, what's one thing you think it could shift or move you from one vibration to another one? Anything you suggest, like to our listeners?
Well, it's not going to sound very nice or friendly, but sometimes it's important not to get into the conversation. Or if you're like, let's say that you're out for an evening and you're out with a negative person, you're going to have to start controlling that. So if you're going out for dinner and a movie, maybe you should only go for the movie then, and start putting life and putting certain elements back in your control. And when certain negative cycles start happening, one of my mentors told me to be quiet, like shake my head, like I'm listening, and but sing a happy song in your head.
Yeah.
And I find that really works. I find that really works. Or I start throwing out gratitude statements. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I thank you for this. This is great. This is great. This is great. But you have to sometimes almost engage like it's like a little war. It's like a little fight. But you can't have that resistance really appear on your outward frame.
Yeah. And I agree. Gratitude probably would be one of the quickest may ways, maybe. Like back
Mhm.
in the day, I would probably give into the energy the other person because you're trying to. But now I protect myself. If I feel like it's not going where my mindset is at, and I know we don't match,
Yeah.
there's ways you can do it. You can excuse yourself. You can play that tune in your head. And it's just like, and sometimes it's just as simple as like you said, nodding your head and saying, you know what, thank you for that awareness.
Yeah.
I thank goodness I'm not in that, and I feel, whatever you want to feel for the situation you're in, but deep down, I'm grateful that I'm not there, and look forward to um different outcomes in the future or whatever like that, whatever you want to say to yourself. Another way, if you're somewhere else, you can turn on music or start dancing. Imagine just
Yes.
you're with someone
Yes.
who's like, you know what, I'm just gonna dance. Hey, you never know, you might put
Yeah.
them in a good mood too.
Yeah, I have a group of ladies and we like to get together either for events or for nothing. And we just do potlucks. We call the date and we all go up into the room that we have and we meet. But there's a negative lady there and she wants to dominate the whole room as well. So we have to say, her name, and we say, you have the floor. You have 10 minutes to talk. Go. And we give
Mhm.
her 10 minutes to talk, complain, to do whatever, to do it all. Then we say, okay, you're done. Now you're here with the rest of us.
Yeah, enjoy some food.
Because you love her and she's such a wonderful soul and such a kind and giving and good and thoughtful person. But they come in toxic and spewing all this stuff. And to be nice and to love somebody doesn't mean to let that keep going on.
Hmm.
So in a certain environment, we tell her, okay, you've got 10 minutes. And then when she tries to start up again in a negative way, if she's not just carrying a conversation with us as we're doing, we'll tell her, hey, you had your 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
know,
Yeah, and that's how it is sometimes. We can always control all the environment, but we can definitely shift our to whatever's happening in perception, mindset shift, look at it from a different angle, and sometimes, gently remind people it's like, there's other things to worry about in this world or whatever it may be, you go the other way
yeah,
kind of thing in the
yes.
nicest possible way. So yeah, and I think that's really important. And I never really realized how much this was important until I started really diving into this, the vibrations, frequencies, energy shifting, and everything. Because for the most part, before, I mean, I've heard of it from The Secret, but I actually really didn't put too much attention to it because I applied a lot of the secret teachings to traveling around the world. But then I realized I really need to look deep down into myself, my inner thoughts, feelings, the things I'm, portraying, and that made a difference when I started studying and growing my awareness and knowledge, but then really applying that knowledge, right? Because you can
Yes.
read all the books in the world, but if you're not really working on yourself, your inner dialogue and everything that's going on, you're gonna remain where you are,
Mhm.
and that's the truth, unfortunately.
Yes. Well, Ava just gave an example of her true nature and her true character. And what is important when you're growing and learning this is that you stay within your own personality because we're giving you information for this. You have to discern it and you have to bring it into your own intellect and you have to figure out how to manage your frequency and your vibration effectively and not harm the other person. Like Ava could say to me, hey, that's not positive, and what the way she said it to me would be fine. If I said that, it would come off totally wrong. Yet I discipline myself in a positive way, and my friends know I discipline myself in a positive way. I have a home that I maintain in a positive level, and if you come in and you start nattering and you come in, I'll say, "Oh, you're negative," and if you keep going, I'll say, "Oh, you can't. You got to get off the subject. Let's talk about blah blah." And if you have that adrenaline going and you choose to stay in that negativity, I will remove you from my home. I will say, would you kindly remove yourself from my home? You're just being too negative right now. And it just works fine for me, for my character, my distinction. So, what we're telling you here, and we're getting you to understand, has to be applied within your own intellect, with your own manner of conversation, with your own manner of understanding with other people, so that the love, the respect, the genuineness is still there with that other relationship, no matter where it is, whether it's a storyteller, whether it's somebody on the phone, whether it's your mother, whether it's someone that you're working with, they all have to know, oh yeah, that's her. I don't take that offensively. She's just working really hard at doing something. So yeah, it's really important that you incorporate your intellect in this level of learning, or else you're gonna be putting out resistance and you're gonna get misery.
Yes, what you put out, you get back. And I love what Albert Einstein says, everything is energy, and that's all there is, to it. Much so, he says, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. And it took me a while to get that, but I get it. I get it. We just have to spend some time with ourselves and the energy we're emitting. And believe me, things can change really quickly for us in a positive way. If we've been that negative person for most of our lives, it can change in an instant. But you have to choose to go that
Mhm.
direction, right?
A little cheat, like a little hack for you to get back to it is think about the time where you felt unstoppable, where you felt great. How did that physically feel? Just bring that right back and you'll just be restored. And as you practice that, it might take you a few seconds to do that at first. As you learn to practice that better and better, it'll take you a microsecond to get there. Like, if we're sitting here and we're in two different provinces, and I say, "Hey, Ava, think about Hawaii." It's a fraction of a second where we're there. So you're totally capable of making that quick shift. It's just discipline, it's just time, it's just understanding, it's just saying, yes, I agree with that kind of thinking.
That's right. So remember, raising your vibration isn't about perception. It's about presence. When you consciously choose higher thoughts, kinder words, and grateful actions, you naturally align with what's meant for you. So today, take one small step to raise your energy, maybe even two steps. Breathe deeper, smile wider, and choose joy. Because when your vibration raises, your whole life does too. And you know what? Not only that, the people around you as well. So hopefully you enjoyed the session today, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Nikki, for being here today, and everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.